Good evening, ULYP.
Good evening.
All right, so my name is Adewale Saluade. I go by Wale, makes it a lot easier for everybody to pronounce. And I am running for the position of Vice President of Leadership Development. So, a little bit about me. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, moved to the United States about 10 years ago, actually. It's going to be this August. And went to school at the University of Central Missouri. I currently work for PNC Bank as a branch manager, which is a leadership role within that company. And really what got me into the ULYP was my first 4 or 5 years out of college, I dedicated myself to work. That was all I did. Went home, went to work, went back home, and that was it. Well, in order to actually get the full experience, I realized that I was not growing as a person. And I went to one of the first events held by the RBC where they actually sponsor the first year's membership. And that exposed me to just the different opportunities out there when it came down to organizations that I could be a part of. And the ULYP was one that really caught my attention because I felt that, you know, this is a group of individuals that are consistently trying to achieve and to strive to grow who they are, what their capabilities are. Now, anybody that has talked to me will tell you that leadership is something that I'm very passionate about. It's a concept I study, not just study, but also look to actually execute on in a realistic, authentic way. So, as the candidates for president both spoke, they talked about leadership and why it was so important. But what does that mean in the context of the ULYP and our future going forward? Well, that means that people get to a point where you can lead from wherever you are. You don't necessarily have to hold a position with the organization to be recognized as a leader. And this tends to be one of the biggest flaws that we see as we kind of go through, well, I don't hold a position, so I can't really do anything. But the goal that I'm looking forward to is growing our capabilities as a group. I currently am part of the Regional Business Council's Leadership 100, and as a member of that group, I have seen what leaders are capable of just within our age group here in the St. Louis market, and that's what I'm really looking to do. So as the Vice President of Leadership Development works with professional, civic, and organizational development committees, I'm looking to streamline that process and bring us to a point where, in talking about reasons why we have these meetings and everybody that normally shows up isn't here, how do we engage and bring value back to the ULYP? Well, that's going to be by developing people and developing those leadership competencies within them. So that is what I am looking to do as Vice President of Leadership Development.
Great. Thanks, Fred. Before we jump into the questions, I just want to give you a brief thumbnail of what this role is. The Vice President of Leadership Development shall be responsible for enhancing the knowledge, skills, and resources of ULYP members. That's basically the thumbnail of what this role entails. So now we'll entertain questions. Yes, sir.
Yes, he said he will ensure development of members. How will you do or make members be developed more?
Okay, well, so within St. Louis, there's a whole bunch of different organizations that are dedicated to growing leadership capability, period. For example, there is the St. Louis Business Diversity Initiative, which I am currently actually going through. It's a one-year leadership development program where you attend these sessions that look to grow your competencies just as a leader that are applicable in any scenario. So we talk about things like growing your brand. We talk about things like addressing different diversity issues, such as a manager, you have generational diversity within your organization. Well, we have individuals in our group that are managers. How do we help them and show them the value that you come to a ULYP meeting and you're going to learn something that you can take back with you to your office on Monday. So if you're struggling with how do I manage somebody who is 30 years older than me, well, you know that you're going to get that value and that knowledge from coming to one of the ULYP meetings, because it would be something that you learn during either a professional development seminar or something of that nature that would give that information to you.
Yes, Patrice.
Yes. Hi, Molly.
Hello.
Two major parts of this position that I think are crucial for our organization are, one,
the membership recruitment aspect into developing membership into leaders to serve best, both externally and externally throughout the larger St. Louis community. Can you pick one key aspect for both of those components that you think is would be crucial within this position that you would want to apply given the position?
Okay, so I'll start with the external piece. I think that serving as a leader is probably the most important piece of that leadership capability, where you don't just look at yourself as somebody who says go. You're somebody who says let's go. You bring people along with you. So when we talk about things like board placement and civic engagement, as leaders within the ULYP, we have to take that step to not only represent the ULYP but ourselves in organizations and institutions that need that assistance. So for example, we have a number of organizations like the St. Vincent's Home for Children, for example. I actually sit on the board of that organization, and I was approached because of the fact that they're looking for a different dynamic. Organizations continue to look for that, so we have a responsibility to prepare people for those roles.
Great. Thanks, Wally.